Welcome back, dear uncles and aunties, to Daily Health Advice. This is not just a place where we listen to health tips, but also a space where we sit together in silence, reflecting on the quiet, profound things in life, the things often overlooked, especially once we've passed the age of 60. Today, I want to share a truth that's not easy to speak out loud. It's something most men feel once they've crossed middle age, yet no one dares to name it. It's not a disease. It's not just about getting older. It's about something quietly disappearing from our lives, our inner strength. It doesn't vanish overnight. It fades slowly. With each weary morning yawn, each unconscious sigh, each restless night's sleep, each tasteless meal, and every silent gaze into the mirror where the spark of younger days is no longer there. Our bodies change. Our bellies grow. Our backs ache more. Our sleep becomes fragmented. And even our romantic lives seem to fall silent with time. We often think, well, it's normal. I'm getting old, and then accept it as a natural law we cannot fight. But what if I told you, no, it doesn't have to be that way? What if I said these changes aren't just the result of aging, but of something important inside our bodies slowly running dry? Would you be willing to listen? What I'm referring to is testosterone, a silent hormone, yet one that plays an irreplaceable role in a man's health, vitality, and spirit. When testosterone declines, it's not just our muscles that weaken. Our spirit wears down too. A man doesn't just grow frail physically. He gradually loses confidence, sharpness, and the emotional spark that once made life vibrant. The saddest part is, no one ever taught us how to preserve it. No one ever told us that even after the age of 60, testosterone can still be maintained, restored, and even reawakened, naturally, safely, and powerfully. No school teaches this. No health program covers it. And perhaps no older friend has ever leaned in to whisper, start early. Don't wait until it's gone to regret it. I'm Dr. Trần Minh Thành, and for the past 30 years, I've walked alongside thousands of men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s. I've witnessed countless stories of revival, transformations even they didn't dare to dream of. From men who thought their time had passed, who felt weak and resigned to fate, to men full of vitality, confidence, and rediscovered strength. No expensive medications, no complicated treatments, just the right understanding, a few small daily changes, and a mindset that refuses to give up. And today, I want to invite you to join me on a small but deeply meaningful journey. A journey that, by the end of the road, might lead you to look at yourself and smile. Because who knows, maybe what you thought was lost is still there, simply asleep. And to begin, let's start with the first truth, one that most people get wrong, that we lose muscle because of age. But the truth is, we don't lose muscle because we grow old. We lose it because we stop. Let me tell you a true story about Uncle Hung, 68 years old, from Nam Dinh. He used to be a strong, muscular man. In his youth, he worked as a porter, walking miles under the blazing sun without breaking a sweat, climbing stairs without holding onto the railing, lifting 50-kilogram rice sacks with ease, carrying a full tray of food in one hand and a stack of heavy bowls in the other. But just a few years after retiring, Uncle Hung's life shifted to a different rhythm. Slower, more sedentary. He no longer went out to the fields in the morning, no longer rode his motorbike to the market in the afternoon. Even meals lost their appeal. Then one day, he fell down the stairs. It wasn't a serious injury, but the lasting effect was a sense of weakness, an unsteady feeling every time he stood up. What struck me the most was what he said when he came to see me. "Doctor, I feel so weak now. I can't even carry a pot of rice anymore." At first, it might sound like just another sad reality of old age, but it's not. His body didn't grow weak because he got old. It grew weak because it believed it no longer needed strength. After months of inactivity, of not using his muscles, the body shifted into energy-saving mode. It began to shrink the systems that were once strong. Testosterone, the hormone that sustains a man's strength, vitality, and inner spirit, also stopped being produced in healthy levels because the body no longer received a clear message. I still need this. The wonderful thing is, Uncle Hung didn't give up. With my guidance, he started from zero with one very simple exercise: sitting down and standing up from a chair, 3 sets every morning, 10 reps per set. That's it. No weights, no fancy machines, no flashy gym. In the first week, he was tired, his legs trembled, and he had to hold on to the chair for support. But he kept going. After 2 weeks, he stood up more steadily. No need to brace himself. By the 4th week, he could carry the dinner tray again, just like before. Then the real miracle came in the 2nd month. Uncle Hung walked more than 2 kilometers without stopping, without losing his breath. And his blood test afterward showed that his natural testosterone had increased by nearly 30%, entirely from regular physical movement, with no medication or hormone injections. This story isn't some kind of miracle. It's solid proof that a man's body, whether at 60 or even 80, is always ready to recover, as long as it receives the right signals. Muscles never betray us, unless we abandon them first. Sometimes just one small change, like a 15-minute morning walk, a few rounds of standing and sitting each day, or simply taking the stairs instead of the elevator, is enough to awaken that life force within. These small movements send out a powerful biological message. I'm not done yet. I still need strength. I'm still a man. We don't need to become bodybuilders. We don't need to run marathons. We don't need to win medals. We just need enough strength to stand tall, to hold a bowl of rice, to walk to the market, to play with our grandchildren, and to lift a glass of water without trembling. These are the true tests of strength in our later years, quiet but more meaningful than any competition. You know, in modern medicine, there's a term called sarcopenia. It means muscle loss due to lack of movement, not age. That means a 75-year-old man who stays active can actually have better strength and muscle than a sedentary 55-year-old. Age doesn't determine the quality of your muscles. Your lifestyle does. And the best part is, when you move your body, testosterone is naturally produced as a reward. A reward you don't have to buy, don't need a prescription for. Just awaken it through your own action. All it takes is a step, a stretch, a signal to your body. I still need you. Dear uncles and aunties, if you're feeling tired, weak, or worn down, please don't rush to blame your age. Place a hand over your heart and ask yourself, how long has it been since I truly moved? If the answer is too long, then please, don't wait any longer. Starting tomorrow morning, just 5 minutes. Stand up, stretch, take a few laps around the yard. Each step is a message to your body. I haven't given up. And just like Uncle Hung, who knows, in only a month you might see a new version of yourself. Stronger, more confident, more alive. Because a man's true strength doesn't lie in his age, but in his ability to keep moving in the face of time. And once your body has answered the call, I need strength, the next step is understanding what's secretly sabotaging your testosterone, no matter how hard you exercise. Because there's still one hidden enemy sitting quietly right there on your dinner table, in your morning cup of coffee, in the dessert you enjoy after dinner, silently undoing all your efforts to preserve your health, strength, and vitality. That enemy is sugar. Many people mistakenly believe that fat, red meat, or organ meats are the culprits behind declining health and testosterone. But in reality, the most dangerous and insidious culprit is sugar, that seemingly harmless, sweet substance we encounter every single day. It's not just candy, pastries, or sodas. Sugar hides in the most innocent-looking foods. A slice of white bread in the morning, a spoonful of sweetened condensed milk in your coffee, a sugary dipping sauce, or a glass of wine after dinner. It sneaks into our daily menus, into the most relaxing moments of our day, and then little by little, it drains away a man's vitality without warning. I remember one of my patients very clearly. Uncle Thin, 65 years old, living in Hanoi. He was diligent, walked around the lake every morning, didn't smoke, rarely drank hard liquor. But he constantly complained of fatigue, a growing belly, poor sleep, and a fading connection in his marriage. To most people, it sounded like just part of aging. But I didn't buy it. I started asking more about his eating habits, and the truth began to emerge. Uncle Tint had a series of seemingly harmless habits he didn't even notice. Every morning, he drank coffee with condensed milk. Lunch included white bread and sweet fruit. Dinner often ended with a glass of sweet wine. It all sounded civilized and reasonable, but in truth, it was a chain of sugary blows to his male hormonal system, the very place where testosterone is made and maintained. Did you know, every time we consume sugar, insulin spikes? Most people think that just affects blood sugar, but here's the truth. When insulin rises, cortisol, the stress hormone, rises too. And when that happens, testosterone gets suppressed. In fact, just one sugary drink in the morning can drop testosterone levels by up to 25% for the next 2 hours. And if that happens every day, well, you can imagine the long-term effects. After I broke it all down for Uncle Thien, we made one change: cut out all added sugar from his diet. No sugar in coffee, no white bread, no sweet wines, no bottled juices. Instead, he drank water, had black coffee, ate more greens, fish, eggs, and whole foods. The results surprised both of us. In just 6 weeks, his testosterone level jumped by nearly 100 points. No medications, no hormone therapy, just cutting sugar. But the most important thing wasn't the number. It was how Uncle Thien felt. He said, "I feel young again. My mind is sharper. I sleep deeper. No more waking up in the middle of the night. I don't feel heavy or tired in the morning anymore." And then he laughed and added something I'll never forget. "My wife says I'm like the man she married all over again, doctor." I'm not sharing this story to tell you to eliminate every trace of sweetness from your life. I'm sharing it to remind you that a man's strength isn't stolen by time. It's stolen by the little habits we overlook. And the scariest part is, sugar doesn't just destroy testosterone, it makes us dependent on it. It gives us a quick buzz, a sense of comfort, the illusion that we're energized and strong. But underneath, it's disrupting our body's natural rhythm, throwing our metabolism off track, and slowly damaging the male reproductive system. It leaves us tired for no apparent reason. It kills our desire, our vitality, and we blame age instead. Dear uncles and aunties, if you're here today listening to this, I believe you still have a fire inside, and that fire deserves to be protected, to be rekindled, to be honored with awareness and clarity. If you had to give up just one thing today to save your testosterone, I would urge you, start with sugar. Not completely, just begin reducing it. Swap sweet tea for herbal tea. Replace soda with cool, clean water. Trade sugary desserts for low-sugar fruits. These small changes, done consistently, will gently guide your body back into rhythm. And testosterone will return, naturally, like a stream finding its source again. And once sugar is under control and insulin and cortisol begin to drop, your body will be ready for the next step, something just as crucial. Something that seems simple, but is in fact the biggest testosterone factory in a man's body. We've talked about movement. We've raised the alarm about sugar. So what is quietly restoring a man's inner fire after 60, every night, every hour while no one's watching? The answer lies in deep sleep, the most miraculous natural medicine gifted to men who know how to care for themselves. Did you know that about 90% of a man's testosterone is produced at night? And most of that occurs during the deepest stage of sleep, what we call REM sleep or restorative sleep. If your sleep is disrupted, testosterone production drops significantly, taking down your health, memory, desire, and spirit along with it. I'll never forget the case of Uncle Truk, 68 years old, a retired official in Taiping. He came into my clinic looking drained, his voice weak and breathless. He told me he hadn't had a good night's sleep in years. Always waking in the middle of the night, rising in the morning, feeling more tired than the night before. When I asked what time he usually fell asleep, he said, "I go to bed around 10, but I don't fall asleep until maybe 1 a.m. Then at 2, I wake up to use the bathroom, and after that, I just lie there, waiting for morning." As soon as I heard that, I didn't need a lab test. I already knew his testosterone was running on empty, but I didn't prescribe sleeping pills. Because what he needed wasn't chemicals to force sleep. He needed to reset his body's natural rhythm, to help his body remember how to rest and recover the way it once did so well. So we worked together, changing one thing at a time. First, turn off the TV before 9 p.m. because blue light from screens disrupts melatonin, the hormone that triggers sleep. Next, a warm cup of chamomile tea to gently relax the body. He was encouraged to read paper books instead of scrolling on his phone and to drink less water after 8 p.m. to avoid nighttime bathroom trips. His bedroom was kept completely dark, cool, and quiet. And most importantly, he had to go to bed at the same time every night, no later than 10 p.m. The first 3 weeks weren't easy. Uncle Truk told me some nights he still tossed and turned, but he started to feel less tense. By week 4, he said for the first time in years, he slept 5 straight hours without waking up. And 6 weeks later, he came back to the clinic with a new light in his eyes, brighter, more alert. He smiled and told me something I'll never forget. I don't need pills. I just needed to sleep like a man again. And sure enough, the test results confirmed what I already suspected. Uncle Trick's testosterone levels had risen by over 80 points simply from returning to deep sleep. An astonishing number, achieved without a single dose of hormone therapy. Deep sleep doesn't just restore testosterone. It's also the time when the body repairs its cells, refreshes memory, regulates emotions, and strengthens the immune system. When you sleep deeply, the testes, where testosterone is produced, work more efficiently. Meanwhile, stress hormones like cortisol drop, creating the perfect environment for testosterone to rise. On the other hand, if you constantly stay up late, sleep poorly, wake up multiple times a night, then no matter how well you eat or how consistently you exercise, it'll still be difficult to maintain healthy testosterone levels. I know many men over 60 struggle with sleep. They think it's just part of getting old, that the older you get, the harder it is to sleep. But that's the biggest lie we've ever believed. The truth is, your body can sleep well if you know how to care for it. The problem is, we've forgotten to treat sleep with the same care we give to meals. If you're struggling with insomnia, try starting with small things. Lower the lights, keep the room quiet, avoid eating or drinking too close to bedtime, and spend 15 minutes meditating or doing deep breathing before lying down. And most importantly, go to bed at the same time every night, even on weekends. Sleep, when respected, is not just rest, it's healing. A man who knows how to sleep properly is a man giving his body a real chance to come back to life. And when testosterone is restored, the body becomes stronger, the mind clearer, and that masculine vitality returns once more. Now, once we've been moving regularly, cut down on sugar, and started sleeping deeply each night, there's still one more thing. Something truly special, yet often overlooked. A secret that doesn't lie in diet or in sleep, but in simple moments of connection. A gentle touch, a warm hug, seemingly small gestures, yet profoundly powerful in nurturing testosterone. Because no matter how strong a man's body is, it still needs connection, and sometimes just a hand to hold or a warm embrace can be the strongest medicine of all to awaken that long-dormant inner fire. I'll never forget the story of Uncle Ken, a 72-year-old man living in Hanam. After his wife passed away and his children moved away to start their own lives, he lived alone in a small house at the end of the village. Every day, he cooked by himself, drank tea by himself, watched TV by himself. To those around him, he was a quiet, kind old man. But what no one knew was that for over 5 years, not a single person had touched him. When I asked him the last time someone had made physical contact with him, he hesitated, then quietly said, "Probably the day I hugged my wife for the last time." His eyes said more than words could ever express, a silence that was empty yet deeply piercing. We didn't start with medication. We started with small steps. We invited him to join a local Tai Chi club for seniors, where gentle exercises were shared, casual gatherings took place, and simple games brought warmth. He was also encouraged to adopt a small dog to have daily companionship and the simple joy of touch through stroking its fur. His grandchildren began visiting more often on weekends, sometimes surprising him with hugs from behind. 3 months later, when he returned for his regular checkup, he wasn't just healthier and more energetic. His testosterone had increased by nearly 90 points. And the most remarkable part wasn't the number, but what he said to me. "I feel like someone lit a fire in me again. Even every breath feels warmer. I came back to life, little by little, all thanks to those little touches that seemed so small." It might sound simple, but in truth, physical closeness is a basic biological need, especially for men from middle age onward, when social connections begin to thin out, friends drift away, children become busy, and even intimacy between spouses starts to fade. These invisible voids, if left unfilled, can become deep chasms that slowly swallow the life inside a person. I've met many older men who truly live strong and independent lives, never complaining, never asking for help, never wanting to burden their children. And yet, in their eyes, there's something quietly heavy. They eat well, walk every morning, take their vitamins on time, but still feel tired, drowsy, and somehow drained of purpose. And when I ask, Do you hug your wife? Your grandchildren? Many of them smile sadly and shake their heads. They think of it as weakness, as unnecessary, as bothersome. But in reality, those moments of closeness are the warm fuel that keeps testosterone and the heart alive. Dear uncles and aunties, a hug isn't just for romance. It's connection. It's a wordless message that says, I'm still here. I still need you. I still care. I'm still alive. If today you're feeling lonely, cold, or low on energy, don't rush to supplements or clinics. Start with a hug, a firm handhold with a loved one, a gentle touch on your wife's shoulder as you pass by the kitchen, a warm embrace for your grandchild before bedtime. These small gestures are powerful emotional nutrition, fuel for testosterone, and for a kind of aging that's not just long, but deeply alive. Because a man's strength doesn't lie in enduring everything alone. It lies in his ability to open up, to give and receive love. And when that connection is restored, testosterone quietly responds. With a healthier body, a clearer mind, and a heart that beats with passion for life. And now, if you've been moving each day, if you've begun avoiding sugar, if you're sleeping deeply, if you've reawakened your emotional connection, there's still one final thing. Perhaps the most powerful factor of all in determining your hormonal health. It's not in your diet. It's not in your sleep. It doesn't require anyone else's touch. It lies in what you repeat to yourself every morning. The first words you say to yourself, the quiet stories you whisper in your mind, those are the biological commands you send to your testosterone each day. In over 30 years of walking beside my patients, I've come to realize something that no machine can measure, no blood test can reveal, but that deeply shapes a man's health: his inner voice. What he tells himself each day, especially each morning. Many men after 60, even those who are physically healthy, begin their days with weary thoughts. Well, I'm old now. What can you do? Just trying to get through what's left. I'm weak, not much left in me to try. They think these are just passing thoughts, natural feelings, a bit of harmless gloom. But in truth, every one of those phrases is a quiet biological command to the brain. And the brain, coldly obedient, sends that message down through the body. Slow the heartbeat, save energy, stop producing testosterone. Because our master has given up. I remember Mr. Vin, a 68-year-old former container truck driver from Bindung. When I first met him, he walked with a cane, his eyes dull, his voice raspy. He didn't say much, just sighed and said, "I'm just a rusty piece of metal, doctor, just trying to coast through now." That sentence, it cut deep, not because it hurt, but because it was so familiar. We didn't prescribe anything, no hormones, just one exercise, something that sounds almost too simple. Every morning, stand in front of the mirror, look yourself in the eye, and say out loud, "I'm not done yet. I'm still strong. I still matter." In the first week, Mr. Vin followed through, but reluctantly. He told me I felt like a madman talking to a dusty mirror. But then I guided him to take it one step further. Write down his childhood dreams. Write out the beautiful memories, the victories of his past. Each morning after saying those words, he would read a passage aloud, reminding himself of the man he once was. Gradually, a spark returned to his eyes. He began to move more. His posture changed, his voice deepened. Steadier, stronger. 6 months later, blood tests revealed that his testosterone had nearly doubled. But more important than the numbers was what he whispered to me at the end of that appointment. The Vin inside me never disappeared. I just let him go quiet for too long. Dear uncles and aunties, testosterone isn't just about physical health. It's about belief. Your body only generates vitality when it knows you still need strength, that you still have something worth fighting for, that you still want to live fully. So starting tomorrow, when you wake up, don't let your first words be a sigh. Step up to the mirror, look yourself in the eye, and speak with full conviction. I'm not done yet. I am still a man of value. Maybe at first, you won't believe it, but that's okay. Your body will believe first. And once it does, it will begin to heal. It will send a message back to your mind that says, yes, I'm not done. I'm coming back to life. True strength doesn't come from biceps, chest muscles, or posture. True strength comes from within, from the harmony between the body and the mind. And no one but you can flip that switch. No one can live for you. No one can believe for you. All it takes is one sentence, each morning, every day, a sacred promise to yourself. When you've learned how to move well, how to eat right, how to sleep deeply, and how to reconnect emotionally, the final missing piece is your inner language. If that part is wrong, no other effort will go far. But if it's right, then even at 60, 70, or 80, testosterone can be reawakened. Your vitality can return, and the man in the mirror can once again shine with the fire of 30. So if you've made it here with me, I believe you're ready. Ready not to go back in time, but to begin again, with purpose, with meaning, with strength. If you've stayed with me until the very end of this video, I know there's still a fire inside you. Quiet, hidden, maybe buried by time, by habit, or by the voices in your head saying, "I'm too old for this now." But your patience in listening today tells me one thing: you never gave up. We've walked through 5 truths together, not sensational secrets or high-tech breakthroughs, but simple, powerful realities that have long been forgotten. That muscle doesn't disappear because of age, but because we've stopped telling the body we still need strength. That the silent destroyer of testosterone is sugar, the sweet deceiver we've mistaken for harmless. That deep sleep, seemingly ordinary, is in fact nature's greatest lab for restoration. That even a hug, a loving touch, can awaken dormant hormones in the heart and brain. And finally, that the quiet sentence you repeat to yourself each morning is the single most powerful command you can send to your entire biology. None of this costs money. None of it needs fancy equipment. None of it requires a doctor. Just a decision, an awakening, and belief. Many people out there might say, at this age, what's the point of changing? Just enjoy what's left. Don't push yourself. You've only got a few more years. But let me tell you this, from the depths of my heart, it is in these very years that true strength is born. You are no longer the impulsive young man of 20. You are a seasoned man, one who has endured hardship, who understands the value of clarity, of family, of health, and of every single moment in life. So starting tomorrow, give your body a clear signal. I'm not done yet. I still need strength. I am still a man. Take a 10-minute walk each morning. Cut just 1 spoon of sugar from your coffee. Turn off the TV 30 minutes earlier so you can sleep more deeply. Hold your wife a little longer. Hold your grandchild's hand one more time. And above all, don't let a single day pass without saying something kind to yourself. These are not grand gestures, but if repeated daily, they will begin to change you from within, little by little. You don't need to go back to your youth. You just need to move forward like a man of experience, calm, steady, and living each breath and every step of this final chapter with unshakable presence. I'm not here to tell you testosterone will make you a superhero. I'm here to remind you, true strength never left. It's just been waiting for you to call it by name. If this video has touched something in your heart, please take a moment to subscribe, leave a comment, and if you found meaning in it, share it with another man who may need to hear these words. Who knows? Your small action today might rekindle the light in someone's life, someone who's quietly fading in the dark. And I believe in the man who's listening to me right now. I believe that aging is not the end, but a journey to live more deeply, more honestly, and with more courage than ever before. Thank you for staying with me until the very end. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video, where we don't just count the years, we live them, with everything that's noble and true in a man's life.